Hi, my name is Coralys Batista. I'm gonna be presenting my engineering management proposal. The title is Minimizing Employee Turnover. The outline, how we're gonna be discussing this is what is an employee turnover, the turnover formula, the types of employee turnover, the objective, the methodology, the implementation schedule, the teams that are going to be involved in this, the project cost, and if there is any questions, just leave them in the comment section so I can answer them in a future presentation. So basically, what is an employee turnover? The easiest way to understand this term is if you are at work and you're constantly seeing new people in and out the company. When they are not on the same department, they're leaving actually for full the company. So it's basically the percentage of workers that leave the organization and they are replaced by these new employees. And it affects the company if it's on a weekly basis, if it's a monthly basis, or if it is every 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months. And measuring this employee turnover, it is helpful for employers since we want to know the cost to hire budget for budget purposes. We want to know how expensive it is having a new employee getting inside the company every 3 to 4 to 5 weeks, right? We want to retain talent. We want to minimize that amount of expenses every certain time. We don't want our business to be impacted by this, so we want to keep them inside the company. So can we calculate this with a formula? Yes, there's a formula that can help us determine this percentage, and is basically the employee turnover rate. You can divide the employees who left and the average numbers of employees that you have currently in the company, multiply that by 100, and you will get the turnover rate. There are also the type of employees who left. They are called the number of separations, so they can be identified as voluntary or involuntary. And what does that mean? What does it involves? So that means there are types of employee turnovers, such as we start with the turnover. We have two types, voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary is because the employee decided to move to another company, right? They decided by themselves, nobody else determined that for them. The involuntary turnover is when the company has to lay off employees due to low work, due to they don't need more employees because they're having budget constraints, department changes, project changes, right? So involuntary, that's a number that the company knows that they need to remove to stay on the business. The voluntary side is when they receive work from another company and they decide to move on. So this type of voluntary turnovers are functional or dysfunctional. And if they're dysfunctional, is avoidable or unavoidable. So this objective for this minimizing of employee turnover, I want to create a plan that we can minimize that amount. This plan should be capable of being implemented within any department, any part of the company, at any time, at any level. And it should be easy, straightforward, and it should not take too much management time to be implemented. So after we get certain training, this should be easy to be implemented. So The methodology that we're going to be using is obviously write the plan, receive the feedback, and update this plan, right? We have a lot of experts on the field that can provide any feedback of their experience while trying to minimize the employee turnover. We're going to define each department role and create a leadership team that, right, we want to involve human resources, managers, team leads, supervisors, and the leaders that are on each department. So the implementation schedule is estimated to be from 3 to 4 weeks to write this plan, receive the feedback and update 1 week, define department roles 1 week. It can be less, but let's see how it goes, and create a leadership team. That this is once the plan is completed, how much time it takes to get this leadership team trained and they understand why are we doing this and what is the expected outcome of it. And probably we will see the difference of the amount of minimum employees leaving the company when we compare the data that we have from the last year with this one, right? And the team involved, we're gonna have human resources, because a great HR department always makes a difference. Human resources is a human resource, so we want that to be part of it. We have managers, that usually the manager is who creates the plan to keep the department growing. So we are basically gonna team up with some managers that can help us determine if their plan is working, if it's not working, how we can implement our plan in their plan, so we can continue working together. So team leaders, most of the time, they are the active managers on site. They are the people. They're straight to go. Every time you have a problem, you go first to your team lead, and if the team lead doesn't resolve, we go to the managers, and if managers don't work, we go to the HR. So we want to have our team leaders involved in this plan so we can minimize the amount of leaders that are in the company. So we want also those leaders to be involved, because they are the first point of contact for the new hires, and the new hires decide to stay depending on how inspired they are by their leaders. So the project cost, this plan will have no cost. It will be for free. It can be implemented for free on the company, and it will actually have a positive income, since we will try to keep those employees inside the company. So for example, if we have an employee that their annual salary is 50k, the cost to replace that employee is around 60k. So it's not only all the background checks and documentation that it costs, and time for HR to get this employee on board, is also the knowledge that is leaving the company. So we have to retrain or train this personnel, and it takes around from 1 to 3 months to this employee to be fully working by themselves. So if there is any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything you want to share with me, feel free to leave it on the comment box on the location where this video is uploaded, and I will answer any questions or implement any of your ideas. So thank you for your time. If you want to contact me, there's my student email. Feel free to reach out anytime. So once again, thank you for your attention.